where do you see the market going? Just, I know you can't predict 100%, but just a little bit of insight.
So look, I think the market has performed incredibly well over the last, I would say, 4.5 years. Really is where the market has really taken off, and villas have obviously outperformed every other type of asset in Dubai in terms of whether it's apartments or land. But where I see the market going is a continual demand for quality communities and quality villa communities and townhouses. I think there'll be some pressure on certain areas within the apartment projects. It's well known, if you look at the map and look at how many projects are being built in areas like JVC, that there has to be a slowdown in values. JVC has been one of the top performing communities in terms of yield and capital growth over the last 3-4 years, but that can't continue based on the amount of projects that are being handed over the next couple of years. There's going to be downward pressure on that. So I'm very cautious about putting my investors into anything that I see there being an oversupply. So you gotta look for something unique, and whether that's waterfront or an incredible community, and yeah, you can still win with apartment investment, but you just have to be cautious about what scheme, what developer, and what makes it stand out. I recently sold a 1-bed apartment overlooking a golf course in a place called Sports City. My investor got it for 975,000 dirhams, and we were able to walk around the building. It was nearly completed. It was maybe 50% completed, so it's still getting fit out, and we were able to stand in the living room and look out and look at the golf course views. And for a 1-bed apartment for 975,000 dirhams in an area that is not overly heavily, densely populated in terms of new projects coming online, it made a lot of sense. But those are the things that we're looking for, something unique that makes it stand out. Often you'll buy an apartment and you're looking out onto another apartment, or you've got a nice view, but that view will only be there for a year or two before somebody else builds in front of you. So you got to really look at all of these things when you're investing, yeah, so I see the market slowing down a little bit in terms of apartments over the next 1.5 to 2 years. I think villa demand will always be there, and you just have to be smart about where you put your money.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, the market is. I mean, it can't keep going up that quickly, but as long as people keep coming here.
Well, see, that's the thing. There's so many people moving here. I don't know what with you being here, are you talking to Canadians, but who are looking to move here? But I get phone calls or messages weekly from families or people I know in the UK who are inquiring, who are looking to invest, and they just look at what's happening in the UK and go, you know what, enough's enough. I want to make a plan to get out of here. So as long as Dubai can keep attracting people with money, then I think that we've got a good future in terms of a more mature market. So I think the market will slow down, which is good. I think it needs to slow down, but as a mature market, it's really starting to prove that it's matured, and it's catching up with other global cities that in terms of what it offers, in my opinion, it offers an awful lot compared to a lot of other global cities. And when you look at the price per square foot of what you can get in Dubai for $1,000 per square foot, for $1 million, for $1 million, you can get 1,000 square foot compared to the likes of London and New York, which is half that. So your price per square foot is so much better here. You get so much more space.
So much more space, and I find one of the common denominators from all the people coming from the UK, Canada, Where else is a country where people are coming from? You've got UK, you've got Canada. Obviously, there's tons of people coming from India. What's another country?
So it's interesting because there are all different reasons why people are leaving these countries, right? So in India, it's Dubai seen as a sort of a plan B and a sort of a second home investment, an aspirational investment purchase. In the UK, it's getting away from the tax situation. It's people fed up with the crime. I mean, look, I don't want to paint the UK as being a complete lawless society. There are parts of London that feel like that, but there are a lot of people who are just fed up with the way things are. So yeah, people are leaving because of tax. People are. It's a hedge. The property yields that you can get in London and Greater London are nowhere near what you can get in Dubai. I mean, we can see anywhere sort of from 6 to 7, even 8 or maybe 9% yield on strong investments in Dubai. I mean, you'd be lucky to get 2-3% yield on something in the UK.
Wow. In Canada, we're at 4 to 5 usually for, let's call it apartment building investments.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking Greater London, but you know, the problem then is it's not just about the yield. It's also about the law and the protection that tenants have. And I'm all for tenant protection, but it has to be fair for both the landlord and the tenant. And in the UK, it's not. It's totally sided with the tenant.
Ontario as well.
I have had nightmares in the UK with investments where tenants have just decided to stop paying, and my goodness, trying to get them out is nigh on impossible. And the law, it's not in your favour. So landlords are fed up with that, and that's why we're seeing more and more people looking at Dubai and the UAE as an alternative place to put their money, and it's tax-free money as well.
Yeah, it's. I mean, there's definitely more pros than cons.
Yeah, I mean, what are the cons? The cons are it's probably too hot to live all year round, although people do it. Dubai is, if you come from a country that is relatively cheap to live in, then it can seem expensive if you go out. I don't think anybody in London or Toronto would feel that because, you know, they're two expensive cities, but there are certainly it certainly sometimes feels expensive to go out sometimes if you've got your UK or Canadian head on your shoulders when you're looking at pricing. But that price, you know, it comes with safety, it comes with great service, comes with incredible choice of restaurants. You know, it's got a lot to offer. So you know, you have to pay a little bit more for it.
Highest quality of service I've seen anywhere.
Really? Mm.
Yeah, it's insane. You can get anything delivered to your house, even when you're out. There's valets everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's.
You have petrol delivered to your car at home yet?
I haven't used that service yet.
Yeah.
But in the garage, there's always someone available to clean cars.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, the service industry out here is insane.
So do you know it's illegal to have a dirty car in Dubai? Yeah, it's true.
Oh yeah? I heard something along the lines of also it's you can't have an old car in Dubai. They have to be after 2010 or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
what the
it's the same in Singapore
years.
actually.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. You don't see many old cars on the road. You see a few, but very, very, very few.
It's the classics sometimes that you see.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'd like to touch a little bit on the offer process. Like if someone, like, can you walk me through the process of
buying a secondary
home, not a brand new one, a secondary home? What's the process like? I find a house, I like it. What's the process?
So typically, a buyer will find a property through one of the portals, the online portals. So you'll have your property listed and they will see something they like, and they'll make an inquiry through to the agent that is listing the property, or they'll employ an agent, or they'll talk to an agent who's a buyer's agent, and they will make contact with the seller's agent. So in Dubai, it's strange because the buyer always pays 2%, right? That's the standard. The buyer pays 2%
for resale.
Yeah. So when you're buying something, if you're buying a villa, you're paying 2% to the agent. Now, sometimes the selling agent will also take a fee from the seller, but it's not always guaranteed. So the buyer's agent and the seller's agent have to agree to split the fee if that's the case. And then the process is that you inspect, you view, you like the look of it, great, I'm going to put an offer in, and if it's accepted, depending on whether or not they're cash or mortgage, if it's cash, it's fairly straightforward. You submit an offer, and you as the buyer will have completed what's called a Form B, and the selling agent will have completed a form called a Form A, and that allows them to market the property and you to work with the buyer to find a property. So if the property is empty, i.e. Vacant when you purchase it, then it's really straightforward. You just agree a price, you check that there's no outstanding service charges, and you then agree the terms of the contract. And so you don't actually need a lawyer to do this. This is done between both agents.
Oof.
That being said, I generally always use a conveyancing team to do my legal transactions, because it just, first of all, I'm rubbish at admin, and secondly, it just gives me peace of mind that everything's done right and that there's no complications.
So a conveyance team is it legal, like a legal firm?
They're like a conveyancing team. They're like a conveyancing company. So they're often lawyers or just people who are really knowledgeable on the legal process involved when buying. That being said, it is really straightforward, and I've done lots of deals where I haven't involved a conveyancer. So if it's cash to cash, it's a very straightforward process. You write the contract out, you agree any terms within the contract, and then if both parties like that contract, if both parties agree to everything that's in the contract, you sign them digitally.